Palmer, and I am the coordinator for career and employer services here at UNF for the College of Education and Human Services. With me today is our sport management faculty. We're going to discuss some frequently asked questions that might have crossed your mind during this pandemic as you continue your path in sport management. It's our hope that this might ease any concerns or questions you might have. Dr. Sweeney?
Thanks, Patty. We first off wanted to talk about the sport industry and how COVID-19 has impacted the sport industry and any potential impacts it may have on the near future. So two specific questions that we've been asked is, should I change my major as I hear about sport organizations closing? And the second one is, will the pandemic affect my getting a job in the field? At least the second question is one that we have talked extensively with current students about. We have great alumni who have taken the time to currently work in the field to answer students' questions and or concerns. So I would like to introduce Vernon Walker. He's an alumni of our program. He is the current manager of global events with the MBA to address the question about changing your major and if the pandemic will affect people being employed. Vernon?
Dr. Sweeney, to answer those questions, obviously they both are great questions and justified in being asked by the students. I think first and foremost, I definitely would not recommend changing your major. I think especially given knowing that, you know, if sports management is truly what you're passionate about, that's kind of your goal to break into the industry. You know, I think first and foremost, you should definitely stay on that track, stay on that road, and continue to pursue that. Secondly, I think in terms of this pandemic affecting kind of the outlook of the job market within the industry, obviously for the time being, collectively, I think obviously across all industries, you're definitely going to see some potential layoffs and furloughs and what have you. But I think coming out of this on the other side, there's definitely going to be much greater opportunity. I think there's certainly going to be opportunity to kind of expand even deeper into the industry and kind of break into different aspects. I think coming out on the other side of this, there's going to be much more of a greater need for kind of the digital landscape across the sports industry. Obviously, if you look at kind of how things are projecting right now, there's several events, several opportunities across the virtual space. We had the NFL and the WNBA just last week host their drafts virtually. So I think there's just going to be greater opportunity to, you know, expand into the digital landscape and the digital space throughout the industry. And so I think during this time, it's going to be critical for students really to just enhance their skill sets and really look at what industries and what organizations and what various sports properties are doing and how they're really positioning themselves to come out on the other side of this pandemic.
Thanks, Vernon. Just to follow up with that, one of the, I think, common themes, at least I've heard in terms of speaking with industry professionals, is that the most popular future interview question will be, what did you do to enhance your skill set during COVID-19? So can you share some of the free tools or tools that have been accessible to you? I know that I have a list that we can share with students as well, but can you tell students what you've been doing during this time, in addition to still working, because I know you're still working?
Yes, absolutely. You make a great point. I think, again, there's just so much opportunity to learn and grow and develop throughout this period, given, you know, the quote extra time and downtime we have on our hands. Personally, you know, and there's so many resources. One resource that I've taken advantage of is Google Digital Garage. Google has an online platform whereby they're offering various digital marketing courses and just kind of the foundations of really expanding and familiarizing yourself with the digital space. So again, that's something that I've taken advantage of. LinkedIn Learning is another great tool that just has a plethora of free courses whereby you can kind of highlight those experiences on your LinkedIn profile once you complete them. That's certainly a great resource. And then various colleges and universities are offering free certificate programs, and I think those are definitely valuable things to take advantage of. Most recently, Florida Atlantic University was actually offering a free certificate in hospitality and tourism management. So there's just so many opportunities in terms of what students can do to really grow and expand their knowledge and really enhance their skill sets to be better prepared coming outside of coming out on the other end of this pandemic.
Yeah, and one last thing in terms of really addressing students either questioning their choice of major, or students who are finishing and entering the field, or those who are close to it, is in terms of using really all the virtual and digital tools out there. There are a number of webinars that are going on. Industry professionals have certainly made themselves extremely available to future industry professionals. So we've really encouraged our students to take advantage of that, to connect with sport industry professionals on LinkedIn, those that may have career paths or careers that they would like to have in the future. It's been really, at least for me, I've been really impressed with what current industry professionals have done to kind of open themselves up to students either who are majoring in sport management or those who are getting ready to enter the field. So we can provide you a list of links to those, but they're pretty easy to find. Patty?
Dr. Lee, should I postpone my practicum to the fall, and should I postpone my internship to the fall?
I don't think that would be necessary at all. We've got plans in place, so things are still moving in terms of practicum. We still have summer practicum, so that's still an option to take. And for students that are scheduled to do their internship in the summer, we have a nice sequence of courses aimed at providing a wide range of skills and marketability components that I think would be very useful for our students as they're approaching graduation and getting ready to pursue their post-graduation career pursuits.
Dr. Jackson, maybe you can help us out with this one. Will we get field experiences if we push to a later semester?
We will not be able to allow students to do any on-site field experiences this summer. But as I mentioned previously, we will provide you with a very worthwhile and relevant experience that will be useful and helpful in job search. Now, this does not prevent students from volunteering on their own if a sport organization is open and you individually see fit to participate on a voluntary basis.
Thank you. And what about field experiences for the fall or even spring?
Well, unfortunately, at this particular time, we don't have an answer to that question because, of course, the coronavirus is all day to day, and we're unveiling what we have. But we will continue to update you as quickly as we can. The university-wide decision will be made, but we haven't heard that decision at this particular time beyond the summer to 2020.
Thank you. And Dr. Choi, can you tell us if there will be coursework that will replace any of the field experiences for the fall?
And
Okay, so we already prepared the 4 different courses for the internship in summer. So the summer A and the summer B session. So the student can take those kind of classes, and then they can replace those 4 classes for their 12 credit hours during internship.
Thank you. And then before we close here, any other advice for students if they have extra time on their hands, things that they can be doing? I know Vernon touched on a lot of things. Dr. Sweeney touched on some things, but anything else that you can give students advice for improving their professional development during this time?
Say again, I think Dr. Sweeney alluded to this earlier, was that people are free right now. A lot of people have more time on their hands than normal. So I think students being able to use this time to reach out to people via LinkedIn, crafting messages to send out to people and request information on interviews, request opportunity to kind of discuss their career path with them and gain any knowledge and insight and any principles that they can apply as they continue to advance their young professional career. So I think that's a great resource right now. And again, with people having the time on their hands to, take the opportunity and speak with college students, that's something that students really should be taking advantage of right now.
Great, thank you, Vernon. Anyone else have any input on that?
Well, I will follow up, and this kind of ties into the questions about internships and kind of field experience as we move into the fall and into the spring. And I know Vernon touched on this previously, or was asked this question about how organizations are kind of evaluating how they work virtually, so that potentially there may be virtual type experiences. Our faculty are, I think, trying to work on, I know for my summer course, I'm working, I've been in touch with a number of sport organizations to allow them to provide us projects. So there will be real deliverables that students can do so that they can actually work for and or with an organization, but just do it remotely. So, and still be able to gain valuable experience. And I would like, since Vernon is on the call, really for him to give, he'll give us some details, but probably not a lot, about his organization specifically and what they're doing during this time and what his work situation looks like.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, it's definitely a bit of an adjustment with the nature of our business. Obviously is focused on our brand and our on-court brand and producing games and producing events. And obviously that's come to a standstill now. So we definitely kind of had to get creative with how we continue to engage fans and how we continue to put our brand out there and make sure that we're still marketing our platforms and really just activating across all of our digital and social platforms. And so for me personally, kind of what my workflow has looked like, I'm really working on a lot of long-term projects, a lot of strategic projects, and implementing some processes that we can put in place once we do resume our normal course of business. Typically, a lot of the quote busy work that you don't have time during the season to really get done and complete. So I think really, again, just taking advantage of this downtime and looking at it from the viewpoint of how can we improve and make our business even greater coming out of this. And again, just putting together various business plans and business processes and documenting those so that those can be applied moving forward.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Sweeney, did you have anything else that you wanted to add before we close?
If you would like, I think one of the things would be just to have each of the faculty members talk about the course that they will be teaching. So because we had to replace our 12 credit hour internship for the summer, we created 4 new sport management courses. So if each faculty member would just briefly provide us with the name of the course and a short summary.
Okay, there we go. This summer I'll be teaching the research methods course, basically exposing the students to the process of research design, qualitative and quantitative, for the graduate and undergraduate students, and hopefully providing them examples of real life opportunities to conduct some research and tying into other summer courses this summer where hopefully they'll look at some case studies and some other options to get exposure to understanding the literature and the journals that that we have shared with them over the years. And for some moving toward the graduate experience, graduate school experience, it will certainly be a positive exposure.
Okay. Dr. Lee?
Yes, in summer A, I'll be teaching a brand management and sport class. And in that class, we're going to cover a wide variety of information dealing with branding facets tied to the sport industry. So we'll talk about company and product branding. We'll talk about people branding. We'll get into team brands and things of that sort. We'll also get a chance to talk about building our own personal brands. And in that, we'll have a chance to examine some facets of who we are and what our career goals are, what we plan to do with our career, how we want to use our education, how we want to position ourselves to be as marketable as possible and as in the know and as equipped as possible to move forward with our career pursuits.
Dr. Jackson's the summer A research method class, then our student can take my summer B research method with the case studies. In the case studies research method class, we'll have two kinds of the big stream. The first one is analyzing the case studies examples. And they're gonna check out what's going on in the field with the case study type, and then they're gonna practice with the specific or data or the situation. They're gonna conduct some case analysis. And also we're gonna invite from the PGA Tour, the Senior Vice President of the Marketing and Analytics, and we can make a little bit kind of the better kind of the learning experience with the research method class.
Okay, thank you. I will be teaching also in summer B with Dr. Choi. I'll teach professional practice in sport management. The course has been created really to provide a virtual, real-world learning experience for students to work with sport industry partners on current and important projects and deliverables. I'm currently in the process of finalizing some projects with a Major League Baseball team, and we'll be able hopefully to tie some of that back into Dr. Jackson's course. So the idea is to be able to actually have projects they will work on for organizations in almost like a consulting type of experience. So that's it.
Thank you, everyone. This has been helpful, hopefully, for the students to ease, again, any concerns or questions that they might have regarding the program and their career path in the sport management industry. So I appreciate everyone's expertise and information today. And if they have any other questions, I know that these FAQs will be listed on, or are now listed on the sport management website, the UNF sport management website, so they can reach them, they can find their answers there as well.